Winston, I'm trying to film a video and you decide to drink from your water bottle only at this moment. You didn't need to be hydrated in the past like 6 hours, but right now, right. Recently, I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw a young person who has quite a bit of a following on Instagram. And they came out and said that they were questioning their trans identity and they were looking for support in that. What sort of pissed me off is this person has been getting a lot of flack from the trans masculine community. A lot of people have come out and said that this person is faking being trans, or this person is trying to get sympathy or attention. And all around, it was just pissing me off, and I wanted to make a video talking about this case. I'm not going to say this person's name because I don't want more criticism and more flack to be thrown this person's way, but I did want to share my thoughts on this and also speak to anybody who's questioning any part of their identity right now. The first thing I want to say, and the thing that I hope that you take away from this video, if nothing else, is that it's okay not to have all the answers. And it is totally cool to question your identity. It's totally cool to come out as lesbian or bisexual or gay or asexual or agender or genderqueer or gender fluid, and then wake up tomorrow and be like, I'm a cishet, my bad. Or, come out as non-binary and then realize you're a trans guy, or come out as a trans guy and realize you're gender fluid. That's totally cool. There's nothing wrong with that. What's not cool, and what I do have a problem with, is ridiculing someone and attacking someone for being introspective and trying to better themselves and find an identity that more fits them. Because not only is that hypocritical, because that's literally how we all came out, was looking within ourselves and discovering who we were, finding a label for that, and then telling everyone that label. That's what we did to come out. And so to ridicule someone because they're doing that doesn't make a lot of sense. Not only is it hypocritical, but it's very disrespectful. For someone to put in all that work to discover who they are and manifest that authentically, that takes a lot of courage. And for people to come on and comment on this person's Instagram posts and say, you're not really trans, or you're doing this for attention, that's very, very disrespectful. I know that transgenders has been a very hot topic right now, and it's a very controversial topic within the trans community. And I can make a whole video series talking about my thoughts on transgenders, but that's not what this video is about. What I want to share today is not only is it okay to question your identity, but you should be questioning your identity. I think whether you're cis or trans, you should be questioning your identity, and you should be questioning what that means to you, because that's the only way that you can truly understand who you are and what that means. I think the biggest disservice that we do to our own communities is turn against ourselves. Any marginalized group has to fight together to see progressive change. And whether we're talking about women's rights or people of color's rights or trans rights or LGBT rights, we have to be on the same side. There is so many people against us, and if we are not standing united, we're not going to be successful in the vision that we all have for our community. What really pisses me off isn't these toxic, masculine trans guys who come on and say, anyone whose transition isn't exactly like mine isn't really trans and doesn't deserve a voice. Those people don't piss me off because I can just not watch their content and it's fine. What pisses me off is people who say that they're advocates for trans rights or say that they're advocates for the trans community and then comment on someone's post saying that they don't have a place in the community. I just can't stop thinking about how this young person made this post looking for support. They said in the post that they were looking for support, and all they got was backlash from their own community about how bettering themselves and questioning themselves and digging into the deep core of who they are to present more authentically wasn't the right thing to do. I just keep thinking about this young kid and all of the people who follow this person and are going to see those comments, and all the people who are questioning themselves and are going to read those comments and get the message that the trans community is not inclusive to people who are questioning. And that's not true. That's not the community that I know and love. That's not the community that I feel I am a part of. And this just makes me so upset. And honestly, I don't know what I can do besides like message this person and tell them that I support them and spread the message that there are loving people and there are inclusive spaces within this community. Spreading hate within the community is so harmful. I've seen a lot of young trans YouTubers who honestly are just ignorant to prejudice and ignorant to their own privilege, and they don't understand that teasing or making fun of people within their community is actually very damaging, because that's so much of our culture, that's so much of social media is making fun of people. The problem isn't that they're making fun of people. The problem is, trans people are a marginalized group. And when people within that group are turning against other people in that group, whether it's fun and games or whether it's, throwing stones at each other, that is harmful because it drives a wedge between like two halves of the community. And not only that, it teaches people who are trying to find their place in this community that there isn't a place for them, which isn't true. I hope that when you watch my videos, you understand that this is a safe space. My comment section, my DMs, all my social media, that's a safe space. And if you are questioning yourself and you feel like you don't have a place in the trans or the LGBT community, know that you can come to me. The reason that I always keep my DMs open, the reason that I don't disable comments on even my most controversial videos, is I want people to know that there is so much love and so much support. Even if you see 100 comments of people telling you you're not trans enough, or you see 100 dislikes on a video that you made, or you see 100 comments telling you that you should just stop or you should just quit. I want people to understand that there are people who support you, and there are people who love you, and there are people who need you to keep going and want you to keep going. I get this pit in my stomach, this like really uneasy feeling when I think about all the 12, 13-year-old little trans boys that go on the computer searching for answers the same way that I did. If you haven't checked out my How I Knew I Was Trans video, it's a good story. And I think about those kids who are just like me and just like how I was when I came out. And they're searching for answers, except now they're going to find a video from some a-hole roasting the heck out of young trans people, or they're going to find 100 different comments on some kid's Instagram post about how you can never question your trans identity or you're somehow invalid as a human being. And I'm sure all of the haters have stopped watching this video by now, but the message that I have for the people who are leaving those comments is someone else's identity, no matter if it's fake, if it's real, if it's the same as yours, if it's different from yours, someone else's gender expression or identity does not in any way take away from your gender identity, because your gender identity is here. Joe Schmo, who you're hating on Instagram, their identity is completely separate and it's in its own box. And so it makes no sense to me when someone sees a trans guy and says, "Oh, you don't bind your chest, you're not trans." It's like they're skipping a step of logic. It's like saying, "Okay, I'm trans, and because I'm trans and dysphoric, I bound my chest and eventually got top surgery, and that was a part of my social and later medical transition. So, since that was part of my story, I then apply that to literally every other person on the planet. And if you don't bind your chest and or eventually get top surgery, you're just invalid as a human, and I'll never speak to you except to hate on you." I am getting really heated talking about this, so I think I'm going to go meditate, maybe watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. Once again, if you are in a place where you are looking for support, please reach out, whether it be to me or a trusted loved one or any of the dozens of trans resources online. I'll leave some in the description, but I'm sure that you can find even more of them if you just do a quick Google search. As always, I hope that you liked this video. I hope something I said touched you in some way. If you agree or disagree with me, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop me a comment and let's start a conversation about this. If there's someone in your life that you think needs to hear this video, please share it with them. And if you want to see more from me in the future, then I hope you subscribe. Stay sweet.